In terms of the content deals and the sports deals, what do you like about the what you called so-called financial engineering of the spinoffs? You know, we were talking earlier about how Netflix is what, more than half a trillion dollar stock.
You look at that,
and all these media companies are trying to catch up.
Company A spins off a division. The ETFs that own Company A can't own Company B. So if you focus on it and you figure out what the intrinsic value is, what is it worth? What is it worth in 3 years? And they're going to sell it. So you sit back with a basket and you say, thank you. And that's what we do, and look at these type of spin-offs and financial engineering, among other things that we look at. Sometimes our arbitrage department, which we've been in 30 years or longer, looks at buying one side of the equation and selling short the other side. You know, there's a lot to do. It's terrific.
You mentioned cross-border. How active can it get, and are there any impediments from foreign regulators?
Well, right now, a little bit in flux, but on the other side of the coin, to the degree that we have companies in Japan that look extraordinarily attractive. You see what Buffett did with the big five of the Japanese trading companies. It reminded me of the conglomerates back in the 1960s, and that is that they've accumulated significant assets. They have never been as sensitive, and they've become extraordinarily sensitive. So you have to look at what they're doing, and will they spin off? Will they buy? Will they sell? Will they monetize the real estate? Will they do other things? So that's an important part. We opened an office in Tokyo right after Fukushima happened, and that was 11 to 12 years ago.
Right.
So we look at that with a great deal of focus and interest.
Is Europe interesting?
Of course. I mean, you know, the answer is right now, for example, there's a company called Iveco, who spun off beforehand. There's 275 million shares. The stock is around 15.5 euros, and they have a significant amount of cash. They make Class 8 big trucks. They call them something else in for southern part of Europe, and in Brazil they have engines and so on, and they provide some of that to Case New Holland. But what they have is a defense business, and the defense business is where everyone is looking, because the amount of money that NATO is spending has risen dramatically. And that, combined with the U.S. $1 trillion, you know, 1 trillion of our is on defense. So you like the Patriot missiles that are going over. Who are the vendors, and who supplies the components other than Raytheon? Who supplies parts?
Is that why you like Textron?
Textron is important because there's 180 million shares. Scott Donnelly, who runs it, has done a terrific job. And basically, they're going to earn a little over $6 this year on a non-GAAP basis, a little less than that on a GAAP basis. And the stock has Bell Helicopter. They got replacements for the Black Hawk, but they also have Cessna. And there's a backlog for the Longitude and the Latitude, and both of those will give them a tailwind, so to speak. And at $85 with that kind of earnings, that is an extraordinarily cheap stock. Another one that I mentioned was National Fuel and Gas,
which is, I'm looking, near record high.
Well, it's close. NFG,
I don't. Good run.
They may have had a big run a few years. They have an asset. That asset is fundamental to the United States. They own significant acreage for the last 100+ years, 100 years, in the in Pennsylvania, in an area about 10,000. They own down to the mineral rights to the center of the earth, but around 10,000 feet. You have what is called Marcellus, nat gas, AI locating, and you're hearing that all the time in that market. And as a result of that, secondly, you're going to try to help people in Connecticut and Massachusetts by bringing in nat gas there, and then you're going to also export some as LNG. So the stock is trading at 90 million shares at 85. They're going to earn close to $7 this year. And so when you take the assets, now one thing that David Bowers, who's running it, is doing, he's going to try to buy other, what they call LDCs, local distribution companies. So they have some in Buffalo, they have some in Pennsylvania. I would say if somebody came to him, he's probably signed some NDAs right now to buy some utility companies in the gas utility area, in the Pennsylvania, ideally, area. So there's a lot going on. Both of them are extraordinarily interesting. Both of them stocks that I'm buying daily, nibbling at them, and so on. We already own some. So those are the things we do.